But from here on out, the real hero's journey begins. Bai Lijun turned to me and said, "Brother, let's fill our stomachs first. We just became sworn brothers yesterday." Brother has already become his catchphrase. Is he really that happy? Let's become sworn brothers. We've been braving the elements for half a month. We just arrived at a village called Dongzhou. It's a small village in a county centered around Liangshan. Here, I haven't even seen a guard or soldier protecting the village, because I've also fully experienced the pure curiosity that such desire brings. Although the way young hero Zhug and I met seems like a twist of fate. We've been through a lot in a short time, so, if it's possible, it's only been 2 hours, and you're already faster than before. I scratched my head, a bit embarrassed. Bailey Zen continued, "In my view, I believe it's because of young hero Zhug's endless thirst for martial arts. So we need to hand over the Soul Heaven relic to Bai Lijun quickly." At this moment, Bailey Zen said to me, "Young hero Zhug, have you ever thought about why your strength has skyrocketed in just 10 days? Even just considering your lightness skill. But their claws have already reached our family much earlier. That will be in 5 years. It's not far off. The faster Bai Lijun grows, the safer I and our family will be under the blood demon cult." Healing Shen Jing, plus him still wearing the iron ring my father gave me. By nighttime, we are resting on a mountain. The blood demon cult will run rampant in 10 years. I asked him if he had something to say. Long Haoming scoffed, saying I was as slow as a turtle. He said he would go ahead first. I was furious. Just wait and see. I'm currently learning the 3rd level of my family's lightness skill. We went out until dawn. After Bai Lijun and Long Haoming got ready, we walked out the door. It's time to set off. We sped along the way, but ahead, Long Haoming suddenly slowed down. But the moment you enter, you must remember the feeling of being swept into that surging torrent. I finally understood. My father was personally showing me the path I would take in the future. I will definitely remember it. In an instant, the sword in my hand slipped away. My father indicated that this was the Galaxy Minor Libyan sword. If the emphasis of the Great Star Sword technique is on rapid speed, then the characteristic of the Galaxy Minor Libyan sword is its gentle flow. The depth of the vast sea cannot be easily seen with the eyes. Father praised my moves, saying the impressive growth of this little rascal makes him, as a dad, proud. Watch carefully. Father started spinning his wooden sword. In the next moment, the wind generated by my father's sword firmly grasped the surrounding atmosphere. Furthermore, this wooden sword would easily shatter with just a slight infusion of internal energy. It's stronger than me, even though I put all my inner strength into it. Is this the difference in levels? But the stronger the rebound, the more my great heavenly star sword technique will shine. I will give it my all. After just 2 exchanges with father, I was utterly shocked. Using a real sword, I was met with such a strong rebound. When colliding with a wooden sword, I wanted to learn from him. I wanted to show my father the results of my training so far, to understand what I still need to learn in the future. Father is a master of movement. Moreover, he won't hesitate to offer any wise advice or criticism. Although I don't know when it will be, I will definitely come back. Then I said goodbye to my mother again. Finally, before leaving, I asked my father to spar with me. Before I go, I spent a whole day with Ban. I thought I could leave without regrets, but thinking about leaving this child behind, my heart feels so empty. One must give up a luxurious lifestyle to experience many things. Your father hopes you can be like this. I think this is enough. I plan to leave early tomorrow morning. I rely on the information and train hard every day. Now it's time for me to step into the martial arts world. My father gave me a lot of money for my journey. He advised me that although I want to give you more, when it comes to the martial arts world, indulging in a life of debauchery, completely wasting his genius body. But now that I'm here, I must change the fate of this side character. Having read the novel thoroughly, I know all the subsequent plots. It could absolutely become a top-tier master. And the person I've transmigrated into is a short-lived side character, Zhuge Weyan from the novel Heroes Chronicle. In the novel, Zhuge Weyan spent every day by Xiaoxia is far more valuable. The Zhuge family's untrained, idle son, yet his inner strength rivals top martial artists. This left me, who had traveled into his body, utterly astonished. With the talent of this body, if you really think about it, I haven't even repaid a fraction of fund. The favor young Master Zhuge has done for me. I said if we're going to talk about this, then forget it. Because I believe compared to the elixir, after Huang Fu Shang sent Huang Fu Lin off, I turned and thanked Bailey Zhen. Thanks to your timely arrival. Bailey Zhen replied, not at all. Watching Huang Fu Lin's back, I'll make him repay it when he becomes the Thunderclap Hound. I'll make him repay it then. The gains from this event seem to have exceeded my expectations. In any case, take care. The family head must be very busy. Quickly take him away. When Huang Fu Lin was leaving, he said that this time the Huang Fu family owes the Zhuge family. He will definitely repay this debt. Before leaving, Huang Fu Sheng cupped his fists to my father and said, young one pays respects to the head of the Zhuge family. My father responded, let's skip the pleasantries. It's not over yet. But the next moment, he was hit by an attack. It was Huang Fu Ling. Huang Fu Ling took Huang Fu Sheng away. And it's not pleasant either. Let's end this never-ending cursed fate. Huang Fu Sheng angrily shouted, shut up. Who allowed you to end it? Huang Fu Sheng, are you out of your mind? Is it funny? Do you think I look funny like this? I responded, no, it's not funny. You actually managed to injure me. I will kill all of you. However, the next second, he spat out fresh blood. This guy looks like he's about to go crazy. Meanwhile, outside, Wei Lijian and Long Haoming had also dealt with a crowd of shrimp soldiers and crab generals. Suddenly, two people walked in from the entrance. Huang Fu Lin, the young master of the Huang Fu family. I stood in front of Huang Fu Sheng. Huang Fu Sheng was completely driven to madness. He shouted frantically at me with a useless piece like you. He's let his guard down. But I haven't been idle these past days. I'm fighting harder than he is. I seize the moment and launch a deadly strike. In an instant, I cut off one of Huang Fusheng's arms. He kicks towards my face. I hurriedly raise my knife to defend. Immediately, I forced Huang Fusheng back with a strike. Right now I still have a chance to win. This guy still thinks him a fallen man. At this moment, I feel a bit regretful. If I had known, I would have used my own hollow humiliation technique. I can sense that this guy is more resilient than I was after 100 days of training. The Fire Dragon Pill truly lives up to its name. Huang Fu Sheng delivers a flying kick. Huang Fu Sheng smugly said, where did your momentum from earlier go? It seems it didn't go as you wished. The Huang Fu family's unique skill is to use their innate divine power to perform martial arts. Every move is a killing strike or a decisive blow. It can be said to be the optimal boxing technique for one-on-one combat. Good. I'll take this chance to wipe out the declining Zhuge family once and for all. After speaking, Huang Fu Sheng threw a punch at me. I quickly defended with my sword. The impact made my hands go numb. The collision of the sword and fist surprisingly sounded like metal striking metal. Forget about them. Aren't I the one you want? Huang Fu Sheng waved his hand and blocked my attack. I heard you've been training well lately. Turns out you're just all talk. I'll take care of Huang Fu Sheng. Watching Long Haoming walk out, Huang Fu Sheng angrily shouted, Long Haoming, where do you think you're running? I swing my blade directly at Huang Fu Sheng. Bailey's swordsmanship is truly fierce. His swordsmanship is clearly faster than before. Seeing this, Huang Fu Sheng quickly ordered the men inside to assist. I sent Long Haoming out as well. The people waiting outside can clean this place out completely. But the next second, a scream came from outside. I was a bit pleased. It was Bai Li Zhen who had broken through. "You are just a puny Jujuyan beneath my feet." I was amused by that line. Then I raised my knife and laughed, saying I can do anything now, no matter what it is. Huang Fu Sheng arrogantly said, "Do you think I came here with only this few subordinates? Although it's ruined outside, both my father and the elders of the clan are all alive. What do you think this place is? Huang Fu Shenying, with someone like you, what can you do? And you're so arrogant." I stepped forward and interrupted, "Father, this guy will never surrender." Then I came face to face with Huang Fu Sheng and said, "You are truly foolish. You just saw that, right? Now step back." Huang Fu Sheng arrogantly said, "If I were afraid, your declining noble family wouldn't have dared to break in here." Just as my father was about to speak. "So the title Heavenly Feudal General is not given lightly." My father shouted at Huang Fu Sheng, "Who gave you the courage to come here and act wild? He was once my son's friend. So if you surrender now, he'll forgive you." All of them were sent flying back. My father suddenly appeared. What terrifying inner strength. It's just a wave of the hand. Who knew it had such power? Huang Fu Sheng arrogantly said, "Someone like you, stabbing me in the back. I'm going to kill all of you." After speaking, he ordered his men to attack us. But the next moment, then a loud roar followed. The door to my room was blown open. "It's perfect that you two are both here." Looking at Huang Fu Sheng, now several times bigger than before. Is this guy really Huang Fu Sheng? A wave of killing intent rushed in. Long Haoming and I picked up our weapons. In the next second, projectiles shot in from outside the door. Several hidden weapons. Long Haoming and I blocked them all. "Somewhere you can easily come and go," I joked. "What's wrong? Did you try it yourself before? So you know it's actually not that easy." Just then, "We used to hang out together back then. He definitely knows where my room is," Long Haoming complained. "Does he think knowing the room of the Juge family matters? You can treat this place as..." Long Haoming and I waited for Huang Fu Sheng to arrive in my room. Long Haoming asked me if I was sure Huang Fu Sheng would come. I said he definitely would. I stabbed him in the back, and he always looked down on me. "So he will come here right away. Father says not to worry. He has already ordered Shu Tangzu to protect Bai Lishan. I can rest easy now. The Tang Master is a powerful figure that no one can easily provoke. By nightfall, he will definitely come here." I asked my father, "Who is guarding Bai Lishan now?" "He is currently absorbing the hollow disgrace. He should be in a powerless state, no matter how dilapidated the aristocratic family looks. This is still the Juge family, and as the head of the family, I am still alive. If he hasn't gone crazy, I am sure that guy will go crazy to this extent." Father told me not to worry too much. He would send the family's Elite 5 to help the Huang Fu clan capture Huang Fu Sheng. But I said there was no need for that. He will come to our house immediately for revenge. Father, somewhat regretfully, said, "And it is one of the seeds spread by the blood demon sect in the martial world. I didn't expect Huang Fu Sheng to be this insane. You must know that innate qi is the sole force that sustains a person's life. If it is fully released and used, there won't be any remaining strength in the body." They locked Huang Fu Sheng in the dungeon. But, unexpectedly, Huang Fu Sheng chose to take the fire dragon pill to escape the dungeon. In order to take revenge on me, the fire dragon pill can temporarily unleash potential from innate true energy. I, along with the elite sent by my father, wiped out Black Cicada. There, I obtained Black Cicada's list of transactions. Huang Fu Sheng's name was on it. After the Huang Fu family learned about this matter, instead, he has his good brother Zhuge Weiying do the poisoning. He originally thought that even if Zhuge Weiying failed, it wouldn't implicate him. But unexpectedly, I, who was well versed in the novel, crossed over into Zhuge Weiying's body. Knowing the plot, I uncovered the source of the poison given to me by Huang Fu Sheng. It was from an evil organization called Black Cicada. Yet, he willingly acts as a lackey for the notorious Black Cicada organization. His heart is extremely narrow-minded. Just because I spoke to him with too piercing a gaze, he wants to poison and blind me. And the clever thing is, he never acts himself. There should be no strength left in the body. Would he give up everything for revenge? If that's the case, Wang Fusheng will definitely seek revenge on me at the first opportunity. He is the son of a prestigious family. They also suspect that Wang Fusheng took the Fire Dragon Pill. The Fire Dragon Pill is a medicine that can temporarily unlock one's potential from innate energy. It's one of the seeds that the blood demon cult spread in the martial world. Innate energy is the sole force that sustains a person's life, if it's fully released and used. And on the afternoon of the same day, I defeated Long Haoming. I received some terrible news. It was a letter from the Wang Fu family. I opened the envelope, and it said that Wang Fusheng had escaped from the dungeon. I spotted Long Haoming's weakness. Then I suddenly thrust with a powerful strike. In Long Haoming's disbelieving gaze, I effortlessly shattered the wooden sword in his hand. I was quite pleased with the result. To deliver a fatal blow at the critical moment. This is a one-hit kill technique, but I don't want to just wait for that strike. If I could use it throughout the entire fight. In the blink of an eye, Long Haoming and I exchanged dozens of blows. I laughed and said, "Do you want to know? If you can beat me, I'll tell you everything." I recalled the feeling of defeating Wang back then. Using the steadily accumulated power, I curiously asked Baya what was wrong. Baya covered her nose, complaining about the smell. I was dumbfounded on the spot. Moments later, Long Haoming and I arrived at the training ground. Long Haoming asked me why Bai Li Zhen was in seclusion. Let me, as an older brother, slightly interfere with him. At that moment, Baya also saw me at the door. Baya happily ran towards me. I opened my arms, ready to embrace. But Baya suddenly stopped. She is just a 6-year-old child. A brother's embrace is like a parent's love. It will make her long for you. I thought so too. Learning isn't everything. I was just about to turn and leave, when Baya's steward said to me, "Young master, could you please stay a little longer with the young lady? She misses you very much." Although she is different from others, at just 16, she became one of the youngest officers in Shandong province. Although it's a bit unfortunate, there's no other way. It can't interfere with his studies. He'll be going now. She's too focused on her books. It seems she didn't even realize I was here. Baya is very intelligent, focused and attentive. In the novel, Baya grows into a very wise woman. Moments later, Long Haoming and I arrived at Baya's residence. I asked Baya's steward if she was still studying. The steward said yes. Young Master Bai had given her a lot of assignments before going into closed-door training. I wasn't surprised by this result, seeing Long Haoming's calm demeanor. "Good kid. I want to repay all the humiliation I've suffered at once." Then Long Haoming disdainfully said to me, "Did you fall into a cesspool? Why does it smell so bad?" I felt a bit awkward. This kid really deserves a beating. And take a look at him while we're at it, and after that, you and I will have a dance. Long Haoming smiled and said, "Sure, as you wish. Why is there a strategy book?" Long Haoming responded, "I also prepared something for Miss Baya." Something for Miss Baya. Looks like this kid has already developed some feelings for the lovely Baya. Alright, let's go and give your gift to Baya. Long Haoming proudly said that he picked these up on the way. I was a bit speechless. What do you mean you picked them up on the way? Anyone can see that this is a carefully wrapped gift. Still shy, but even so, I'm a bit excited. That kid is back. Moments later, I returned home, looking at the gifts on the table. I asked Long Haoming what they were. Even the Ren and Du meridians that were blocked in my childhood have been unblocked. My father pinched his nose and happily said that this result really exceeded my expectations. It must be the ancestors in heaven blessing you for such a change. Seeing father's reaction, I realized that I was reeking of a terrible stench. He really is a gentle and considerate person. My father asked me again if I was sure I was okay. I confidently said yes. I'm fine. The things I saw after entering the hidden library and the good elixir have helped me a lot. Additionally, with the expulsion of the long-accumulated waste from the poison core of the seven-planet serpent, I replied, "Were you worried about me?" Father said he wasn't. He believed I would definitely overcome it. So much time has passed. He has been waiting for me here. I just stepped out of the secret chamber. Father hugged me tightly. "You rascal. Why did it take you so long to come out? Are you okay? Where did I go wrong?" As the internal energy circulates, I let out a painful roar. Fortunately, there was no real danger. I successfully digested the poison pill. The mysterious power of the Lost Path technique and the miraculous power of the harmonious pill was spreading through my veins, expelling the poison of the seven-star serpent. But why is it that as the internal energy flows with my body, the speed of the energy operation gradually increases? Then I would die on the spot. But to establish myself in the martial world, this risk must be taken. I was in the secret chamber, absorbing the poison pill with all my strength. Time passed by second. I chose to consume. It's because this is the inner elixir of the seven stars serpentine. As long as I refine it, I can resist over 70 kinds of poison. But if I fail, if, in the future, he wants to help me, young hero Juge, I will prove to you that you haven't made the wrong choice. The venom that can poison ancient mammoths. Bai Lijian recalled what Hall Master Shu had said. Are you a man whose value can't compare to Master Kongqing? You're not. As Hall Master Shu said, young hero Zhuge truly believes in me. I'm not interested in this. You're lying, Buttons. Even if I can fully grasp the mental techniques, my internal strength isn't enough. I haven't had a chance to fully demonstrate my abilities. Let me ask you again, are you a man whose worth is less than empty shame? After speaking, Hall Master Shu turned and left. Bailey hesitated a bit. Invest, to be honest, but you should still take it. This was something the Lord of the House had promised. It has nothing to do with me. Besides, don't you know why he handed Kong Qingxi's master over to you? Young Master Wu Yin must value investing in you more than Kong Qingxi's disgrace. I must still decline. This doesn't seem like something I should accept. I already owe him too much. Hall Master Shu responded, although I don't know if there's any hidden reason. He said he wants to give this to you. Bai Lijian spoke out in shock. He wants to give me such a precious sky invasion seal. How could there be someone who asks for nothing and still offers something like this? Although I know this is a great favor to me, can we now have expectations for that kid? Or is it still too early? Master Shu brought the empty blue benefactor before Bai Lijian. The item that young Master Wyan took from the Black Cicada Master, he killed. Younger Master Wyan has met with the head of the family privately. Tell him it's for him. Chief Shu seemed a bit surprised. Then he said to his father, it seems that the young master is changing in many ways. His father smiled and said, can I take that to mean? You mean to say? Father said that although he felt he would be fine, if he really went in, he wouldn't be so sure anymore. Chief Shu responded that nothing would happen. Father took out the hollow disgrace and said, you still know how to comfort people. Go and give this to Wu Ying, a disciple at the granary. Is a pain that I will willingly endure for a reason. Still, it is a bit terrifying. I hope I won't die. And outside at this moment, Chief Shu asked if Father was worried, to gradually suppress it with my internal energy. If I fail, I might lose my mind. But in order to establish myself in the martial world, this is a long-term investment. The accompanying pain. With my current internal energy, there's no way I could resist the poison pill. The Heoqing pill can slow the spread of the toxin, and also reduce the pain. So I need to take advantage of this time. It's the worst-case scenario. Father warned me, but you mustn't forget, That even if you obtain the 7-planet serpent's poison pill, it doesn't mean everything is complete. If I could develop an antibody to poison, it would give me a huge advantage. He definitely thinks that for someone like me with no martial arts experience, if I were to encounter a poison attack, it must be swallowed. The poison pill is the core of the 7 luminary snake. It's a snake with 7 colors mixed in its skin. As long as you swallow it properly, you can resist over 70 kinds of poison. Been waiting for its master. The passage of time has enhanced its potency. It is of the highest quality. It also belongs to the 200 treasures. For addicts, I asked somewhat hesitantly, are you sure it's not a miraculous medicine, but a poison pill? Father nodded to confirm. But it's not an ordinary poison pill. It has you need to build up a corresponding reputation. And the reason I'm here is that I have something to give you. It's not something from the family. It's personal property I acquired when I first made my name in the martial world. It's a poison pill. That is indeed true. Fortunately, my father has not put everything on my shoulders yet. My father then said, therefore, I hope that you can become the young head of the family by winning the election. However, before that, but what father said next reassured me, yet now it seems a bit premature. More importantly, the relatives of the family have not yet seen the results of your change with their own eyes. I awkwardly spoke up. Why suddenly mention the Shao family head? I'm not willing to sacrifice myself for the family, to take everything on my shoulders. It's hard enough just to protect myself. This is not what I want. Actually, during this time, Father Wei has been keeping an eye on you. He has also given it a lot of thought about whether to prepare for the long-delayed position of the Shao family head. I tensed up. It was actually my first time here. Father said this was the meditation chamber. I'm a bit confused. I thought this time I would see other martial arts books besides the memoir. My father opened the door and said to me, you seem surprised as to why I brought you here. I'm afraid you'll visit China again. It's time to unlock what's been locked away. Father's eyes were full of energy. I have a good feeling about this. I followed father to a basement. I feel regretful, that's all. Father praised. After hearing and sensing your ambition and resolve, I now feel there's nothing I wouldn't give you. Come with me. I thought you'd use it yourself. You see farther than your father. I humbly say it's not so. It's just because he left home to work hard for the revival of the sect. It would be much better for the protagonist to have it, such a valuable thing, rather than using it on myself. It's better to give it to those with bright futures. Father said with relief, or do with it as I please. Father was puzzled and asked, something this valuable? You don't plan to use it yourself? I said yes. I want to give this to Bai Xiaoxia. Even if I take it, I can't be sure how strong it'll become. So I thought instead. I asked my father, if this precious elixir truly belongs to me, then can I give it to someone else? Anyway, hollow insult truly came as an unexpected opportunity. But it's not much use to me, because this body of mine is thoroughly soaked with all sorts of pesticides fed to me by the Juge family. Besides, I'm just a supporting character anyway. It's yours. Take it. Although I want to inform father that behind the Black Cicada is the Blood Demon sect. It's not the right time yet. The heart-piercing breast elixir requires consuming 10 drops. It greatly boosts internal power. It can transform the body in a single breath. It's one of the most sought-after essence treasures, ranked among the top of the 200 Lingbao. Though I don't know why such a precious item would appear in that place. It fell from the enemy you struck. In the Black Cicada cave earlier. You should have heard of it. It's a spiritual medicine called Kong Qing Shiru. I'm a bit shocked, although I had already heard about it roughly from Hall Master Su. But I'm really proud of how you're changing day by day. Just do as you see fit. I awkwardly said, thank you. Father continued, by the way, I have something for you. Why did I say that last sentence? I should have said that I still need you. The next day, I went to my father's room. My father said to me, "You want to establish yourself in the martial world, right? I've also spoken to my father about the orphanage. He will take good care of it, so you are free now. You don't need to be my bodyguard anymore." I regretted it the moment I said that, but my good brother Wuduki stopped me. Farewell. The last thing I asked Huang Fuling was to let me have some time alone with Huang Fusheng. I told Long Heoming that I have kept my promise. Everything has been taken care of. An old man walked in from outside. He was Huang Fulin's adjutant, Wu Duxi. I handed the account book to Wu Duxi. Seeing this, Huang Fusheng immediately shouted at me, "What are you doing?" Then he rushed up to hit me. "Where are you going? Give me the ledger before you go." I turned around and said coldly, "I never said I would give you the account book." Huang Fusheng was stunned on the spot. But before Huang Fusheng could react, Huang Fusheng said it must be this kind of attire and appearance. I feel a bit helpless. Sure enough, I can't get anything out of this guy. I turned around and said I was leaving. Huang Fusheng hurriedly said, "You haven't finished speaking." That's how I got to know him. The Liu Xian family is one of the 3 factions in Shandong. So, they don't seem to have any connection to the Blood Demon sect. I continued to ask, "So, is this black merchant wearing an eye mask?" But I'm quite curious. The introduction of the Black Cicada to Huang Fusheng's associates is related to the Blood Demon sect. Huang Fusheng responded that there are the Xian family at a banquet hosted by a friend of the Yu family in Shandong. A Western believer from the Liu Xian family brought a black merchant. I only came to ask a few questions. If you could provide me with answers, I'll present the account books. In the novel, the recent Haikan incident was not related to the Blood Demon sect. If people find out you tried to poison him, the Huanfu family would lose all face, would they? Huang Fusheng angrily exclaimed, "You dare to play me like this?" I calmly replied, "How could I dare to deceive you, brother? What's going on lately?" I had Long Heoming wait outside. Then I took out the ledger and said, "This is Black Cicada's transaction book. I got this when I followed my father to hunt down the black market merchants. Bailey is truly a descendant of Dian Kang." At that moment, I opened the door and walked up to Huang Fusheng. "Long time no see." My elder brother Huang Fusheng responded with some surprise. "Isn't this my one and only dear friend, Zhu Xian?" I vomit until I'm completely exhausted. I swear this will be the last time. Meanwhile, Huang Fusheng was extremely uneasy. He had given me the poison days ago, but still, there was no news. Huang Fulin said, "Yes, I feel a bit indifferent. What nonsense is he talking about? I can't even finish one glass of soju. After I drink," he said as he handed the bottle to me, "drink it. As long as you finish it all, I'll accept your request." I hesitated, unsure of myself. "Are you telling me to drink all of it in one go? The children from the orphanage who were taken away are innocent too. So please, write off his debt." Huang Fulin replied, "Using debt to repay debt to save someone, very good. But I have a condition too. But I want to take one person, a guard named Long Heoming. He owes a lot of money to Huang Fusheng because he bought a spirit medicine for his sister. Plus, as a guarantee, just like that, he really is straightforward. He wanted to bring me too. First, you need to give us some appropriate gifts. Anything will do. I believe in the integrity of the Huangfu family, and I think the eldest son, who values honor, will accept my proposal." What I didn't expect was Huang Fulin directly asked me to share my proposal. As the eldest son of a noble family, he wouldn't act rashly. Huang Fusheng sneered and said, "How interesting. So, you're declaring war on our clan?" I responded, "This guy can't kill me. Even though the power of the Juge family is not what it used to be, but his reputation is still very high. Plus, this informal deal was arranged by father. I am the young master. He wants to sow discord between me and the descendants of Dian Kang. He incited me to poison him. Don't forget." The ones who are despised are us, the noble families. These aren't words I said in a moment of passion. Are you disrespecting the Wangfu family? Feeling the killing intent. I can barely breathe right now. But I didn't back down. I opened my mouth and angrily rebuked that I was almost implicated by Huang Fu Sheng's scheme. The eldest son can use it to tie him to where you want. The eldest son really dislikes Huang Fu Sheng. He thinks Huang Fu Sheng is unworthy of the arrogant and aloof Huang Fu family. Huang Fu Lin threw the ledger onto the ground, then angrily said, "He's also a member of the Huang Fu family, but you've already wasted the card in your hand. I assumed you wouldn't do that. Huang Fu Sheng and the eldest son are half-brothers. He isn't someone who brings no benefit to the family's reputation. This would be a good justification." Coldly, he said, "You're really stupid. If I just burn it, wouldn't everything be over? Anyway, this matter hasn't been made public. You haven't said what you want yet. I don't want to waste my precious time talking about this." I pulled out the ledger and handed it to him. "This is the ledger. Take a look at Huang Fuxing's name." Huang Fulin took the ledger. "Your proposal is to not make this a big deal." I responded, "You really are as straightforward as the rumors say." Huang Fulin impatiently said, "There's no use. Enough with the compliments. I can't ledger to negotiate with the Huang Fu family personally. Fortunately, my father agreed that I could come. The person negotiating with me is the eldest son of the Huang Fu family, Huang Fu Lin." Huang Fu Lin took a sip of wine. He said to me, "I have officially received your intentions through your father, together to gain that power. This is the way for me to survive now. The matter with Bai Lijian is over. I still have one thing to do. That is, I will use. I want to go with you. After what happened with Wang Zhong, I don't have the energy to beat around the bush. I want to pass on the deer heart technique, which can reach the state of clear mind and still water, to Bai Lijian, guiding him to obtain the soul heaven strategy. We are completely different sects and families. I admit him curious too. And what is Hun Tian's secret? Give me a chance to explore it with you. When you go, search for Dian Kang's foundation. If I'm not mistaken, this possibility is very high. But I can confirm that the answer White Gate Master seeks for mirror-like clarity lies within our family." Bai Lijian asked in confusion, "How could the foundation of our Dian Kang be the same as the foundation of the Juge family? That statement is directed at the foundations of noble families. The key to the soul heaven is right in my embrace." Hearing this, Bai Lijian stood up excitedly and asked, "Could that key be?" He nodded and said, Bai Li could hardly believe it. "How could I have given away something so precious so easily?" I continued speaking. "I also discovered, through the words left by my ancestors, the hidden matters concerning the soul heaven deep within someone's scrutiny. It can be said to be a discovered superhuman martial art. Since there is a lot of content, I can't write it all down. I can only try to write down part of it. The young hero Bai will also need this. And it's not a mental technique, but a special power that refreshes the spirit. The elders of the family are completely unaware that this has been forgotten. This is collectively referred to as Cao Rui in the novel. Cao Rui refers to memories created specifically for this purpose. Actually, when I was reading the ancestors' memoir that contained those words, I stumbled upon an opportunity. Whenever I repeatedly chant them, my mind becomes clear. Why would the ancestral legacy, with no clues, be in such a place? And along with this last will, what exactly is the serene mirror that even the ancestors couldn't comprehend? From the day I was born, do you remember the verses I recited to you last time we drank? You, who come after me, must obtain the still water of the clear mirror that I could not find. Future generations, if our intentions can reach the heavens and complete this imprint, then you must immediately stand in Henan province and look north. There, in the divine realm, Hun Tian will appear." Bai Lijian was shocked after reading it. I presented the sword to Bai Lijian. The note inside the sword's hilt said, "I am the true man of Bayman from the collection. I have long been searching for our route. but I haven't been able to find the gate. Even though I see the way, I cannot cross it. But Bailey Zen didn't take over Beichao. However, this will eventually become Bailey Zen's exclusive weapon. I twisted open the sword hilt. A scroll of paper suddenly popped out from inside. It recorded the martial arts and final words left by the former master of the Northern Dynasty, the true man of Bayman. The intense fear woke me up. I am at my own home right now. What happened after that? We must get hold of their transaction ledger. Luckily, there's the sword. I blacked out. I fainted. During my unconsciousness, I dreamt of Wang Zhong's ghost demanding my life. I saw Wang Zhong about to shoot me dead. The next second, Master Shu arrived with a large troop. Bailey Zen helped me up and said, if we were any later. It almost turned into a big incident. When exactly did you start being here alone? At that moment, my tense nerves finally relaxed completely. In just one encounter, he took down a group of extras. Looking at this bloody scene, he's really not joking. No matter what, he smiled. I survived. You've suffered alone. After speaking, I rushed towards the crowd. I threw the 100-cow sword to Bailey Zen. Let him draw the sword from its sheath. Then he waved countless sword flowers, attacking that group of extras. The extras surrounding me were pushed back. A wave of joy surged in my heart. It's Bailey Zen and the others. As Bailey Zen passed by me, he said to me, Lord Wyan. But after I killed Wang Zhong, I used up all my strength. Now I can't even stand up. Am I really going to die at the hands of these extras? But the pain I imagined didn't come. We will also die at the hands of our employers. It's come to this. We can only go all in. We must kill that guy. Dozens of knives were coming at me at once. Hui started to panic, but soon, one person stabilized the morale. He shouted to shut up. Have you forgotten the manager's words? Even if we don't die here, this kind of thing will keep happening. I have to find a way to live. You have to adapt, but it seems I won't live to see that time. The remaining members of the Black Cicada saw me kill Wang Zhong. I killed someone with my own hands. Damn, it turns out killing someone is not as simple as described in martial arts novels. My heart is racing uncontrollably. I can barely take it anymore. And in the world where I have to survive, a burst of power gradually emerged. My sword aimed straight for Wang Zhong's neck, and instantly cut off his head. I knelt on the ground. I couldn't help but tremble. A sudden burst of explosive power appeared. The internal energy connected with the shock of the rebound force quickly gathered. In an instant, it flowed from the demon to my arm. Following the elusive mind technique that wrapped around my body, the spear charged straight at my heart, unstoppable. This strike was unavoidable. If I dodged, I had to block it. In an instant, the impact knocked me back. But just as I resisted the rebound force, finally, he starts to retreat. He plans to unleash his skills. This is my opportunity. But, unexpectedly, this was actually a flaw Wang Zhong left on purpose. I plan to fight to the death, but I don't intend to attack. Instead, I will jump around. I will focus on dodgings. Wang Zhong is getting increasingly anxious. It makes it hard to get close. If I can focus on the gap when that guy retreats, I might be able to hold out until Master Shu gets here. I use my luck-lost heart technique. His spear was long, so, in order to channel his strength, there must be a backward movement, because the gun itself doesn't easily create distance. Plus the backward movement. A surge of joy filled my heart. Wang Zhong gripped his spear. He took a step back. There's no time for nonsense on this island anymore. Prepare to die. His movement revealed a flaw to me. At that moment, a sudden explosion was heard, and the entire cave began to shake. Wang Zhong also put away his playful smile. The person you are waiting for. It seems like the mechanism was broken. His speed isn't anything special, but because of the length of the gun, it's hard for me to approach him. What should I do now? Should I kneel and bow to him? Wang Zhong came up to me. He told me to get up. Damn, he's really strong. Just defending against him is exhausting, compared to Bai Li Sen. After saying that, he delivered a flying kick that sent me flying. The force of this impact was tremendous. If it weren't for me clenching tightly, I guess my dad is going to fly out. Next comes the part where the villain shows off. I nimbly dodged his fierce attacks, but I still exposed a flaw. The sword strike I hastily delivered was easily evaded by Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong mocked, "Is a prestigious family really this mediocre?" I blocked his attack with all my strength. Such power! My hands were trembling from the shock. Wang Zhong swung his spear and sneered, "Let's see how long you can block." This battle was unavoidable for me. The enraged Wang Zhong quickly found me. He shouted angrily, "Let's see if you'll die first, or if the Juge family will fall first." After saying that, he thrust his spear at me, then used it to complete my first kill of this lifetime. In the recently departed Wang Zhong, after realizing that I let his escape boat go, he furiously returned to the cave, demanding me to come out and die, and even lacks a blade. As long as a bit of internal energy is infused, the blade will open its mouth to reveal its sharp teeth. And I just got this sword for 2.5 minutes, feeling this intense killing intent. He is serious. There's no choice but to fight. This is a divine sword that can slice through mud like iron, although it looks worn and tattered on the surface. But doesn't this sword have a sheath? Is it because it usually isn't sharpened, so it doesn't matter? Not at this time. The roar of the king comes from afar. "You brat, come out and die." It will reveal its claws, like a beast before its prey. The sword's edge will subtly open its mouth, baring its teeth. It's a magical, famous sword. I am very satisfied. Luckily, I don't have a weapon either. Although, in the eyes of those unfamiliar with this sword, it might just seem like an unrecognizable, strange iron rod. But this is not just an ordinary stick. If you infuse just a little bit of internal energy into it, according to the description in the novel, this is supposed to be given to Bai Li Xian. This broken beast will be passed on to the next head of the Juge family in the Northern Dynasty. Since the decision on the next head is still far off, I can use this broken beast for now. I finally found 2 swords. The novel never mentioned there were several fox dens inside the cave. It seems that there is still a big difference between novels and reality. They may have been buried here for many years, before becoming the base of the Black Cicada. It's been a long time. Kid, we'll be seeing each other very soon. I've already set the boat loose. There's no way out for you. I better hurry up and find what I need. After searching for a while, Wang Zhong suddenly burst out laughing. I always thought the useless heirs of noble families were all arrogant, unreasonable hypocrites. Didn't expect you to be quite sensible, kid. With that, he motioned for his men to head out. Before leaving, Wang Zhong told me, "We'll meet again if we have the chance." Turns out Shu Tang was presiding for another reason. "This part isn't written in the novel." I responded, "All right, I won't stand in your way anymore. I just need to buy some time." Wang Zhong sneered, "Yeti, it won't cost you anything, kid. Anyway, those people you're waiting for can't get here right now. The mechanism I activated is not only hard to break, but it can also withstand most swords. I guess I won't need a hostage after all. How about this? You'll just take care of that kid from the Juge family. Pretend you didn't see me." I asked the other side, "Are you serious?" The next second, my abdomen was struck by Wang Zhong. This hit almost made me throw up last night's dinner. Wang Zhong said, "I've changed my mind. I was originally planning to take you as a hostage to escape, but they still haven't managed to open the mechanism. Is it because you don't have a weapon? Or are you waiting for reinforcements? Damn it, of course it's both. Why is Hallmaster Shu still not here? In the novel, didn't he break through in an instant? Plus, we have weapons. One mistake, and I could die here." Wang Zhongning smiled at me and said, "You little brat, even though your moves are quite impressive, why aren't you fighting back? but Wang Zhong came at me directly with a long spear. I quickly dodged. It seems my training during this time has had some effect. Dodging isn't difficult, but this is real combat. Just in time for me to use your life. Let's see how much you're worth in the eyes of the Juge family. I suddenly felt a bit flustered. Wait, didn't I say it was hard to earn back there? Who said I came alone? We're going to die anyway. Is dying here any different from dying at their hands? Aren't they the same? Besides, there's an idiot running over here to deal with us. I don't know how this place. Anyway, the punitive force has already set up their formation behind us. You'd better surrender now. Wang Zhong said coldly. Why should we surrender? All the treasures from the client have been stolen by use. I dodged in a flash and shouted, Wait, Imjugawayan of the Juge family. Your escape route has been cut off. Wang Zhong turned around and asked, Does the Juge family have such a person? He said he wasn't very sure either. I replied uncertainly, This means the punitive force has already arrived. No matter what, I have to buy time, until Hall Master Shu arrives. No time to think. The enemy launched an attack on me. It seems that Guy is the Black Cicada's boss, Wang Zhong. The novel didn't mention how strong Wang Zhong is, because after he escaped on a boat, he never appeared again. But he looks really strong. Since he's here, could the contents have changed? Just at that moment, I felt a chill down my back. Then a voice followed, Who are you? I glanced back. In order to cover it up, the Huangfu family gave 2 ancient swords to the Juge family as compensation. But those weren't just simple ancient swords. They were things I needed to get my hands on as soon as possible. The novel clearly stated that they were found in the Fox Cave in the cavern. Inside, I discovered a treasure chest, but it didn't contain what I wanted. It was just piles of silver. That's not what I'm after. Although this was discovered later by the Huangfu family during their investigation here, he still insisted on coming here. The reason is that I have something here that I must take with me. Moments later, I found the cave described in the novel. According to the novel, after passing through this hillside full of wild graves, a little further ahead, the entrance should be visible. Sure enough, before long, I saw an opening. Although I've already cut off his escape route, I just need to get rid of this. Then I used my sword to knock the stick that was tying the boat away. Now he's like a fish in a barrel. What I'm looking for now is the entrance to the cave connected to this place. It shouldn't be hard to find. I'm going to cut off his escape route. Let him get caught. Moments later, I arrived at a small stream. There was a wooden boat in the stream. The leader of the Black Cicadas escaped from the cave using this boat. Although Bailishan interrupted the headquarters of the Black Cicada in this operation, it allowed the true master of the Black Cicada to slip away. Because of this naturally formed cave resembling a deer. But I am different from Bailishan, because I already know where he will escape from. They waited on the mountain peak for a while longer, but I still didn't show up. The Master Shu directly ordered the operation to begin. On the other side, I was hurrying on my way. According to the novel's content, he is a man who defies common sense. There are many aspects of him that are hard to understand by normal standards. He has an indescribable sense of mystery. You should have sensed it a little by now. But Long Haoming didn't understand what Bailey Zen was talking about at all. He would have been even fiercer, very powerful. How could someone like that not know Qinggong? Bai Lijian spoke from behind Long Haoming. In my eyes, I was left behind, but Long Haoming didn't believe it. His movements at that time were more than just agile. The impact was so strong that it shook my internal organs in an instant. If he had used all his strength, I wanted to call out while running, wait for my mount. Moments later, Shu Tangzu and the others arrived at the peak. At this moment, they realized I hadn't caught up. Someone mentioned that it seems I can't perform lightness skill. In an instant, everyone charged toward the mountain peak, leaving me standing there in a daze. Now this is awkward. I don't know how to perform lightness skill. I should have asked Bailey Zen to carry me. The story is unfolding just like in the novel, based on my memory. This battle was vague, but before I could think too much, All Master Shu shouted, "Let's go! Take care of young hero Juge." I felt a bit moved. He really is reliable. But the next second, I remembered the novel's plot. If Bailey Zen is also participating, this kid finally showed up. We hadn't seen him for quite a while. I thought he had run away. All Master Shu then asked, "Is there more?" Bailey Zen with an arrogant tone said, "A disciple from Dian Kang will also be joining you. Our goal is to crack the curse when the sun sets, and to annihilate the black cicadas in the cave in one fell swoop. Who wants to lead the charge? I'll lead the charge. It's Long Haoming." He continued to walk away. The next day, team leader Shu led the team to clean up this organization. The location was the sheer cliff on the eastern peak of Qianfu Mountain. At first glance, it looked like an unclimbable precipice. It's actually because the shadowy phantom there cleverly obscures the descending stairs. If young Master Zhuge hasn't forgiven you, you will die at my hands. He is very lenient with you. I hope you don't disappoint him. Long Haoming did not respond, considering that a year's harvest from farming is only worth 10 taels. It's indeed a huge sum of money. In any case, whether you choose to gain freedom from Wang Fusheng is up to you. Moments later, Long Haoming left the room. Bailey Zhen was waiting outside for him. If you did such a thing, what else could it be but a debt? That amount of money is not something you can afford. Kid, I know that spiritual medicine, even the lowest grade, costs 30 taels of silver. I'll take care of it for you. So you always knew. I shook my head and denied it. I guessed all of this. It's neither personal grudges, nor did you treat Huang Fusheng as a master. I can't just stand by and watch you be manipulated by Huang Fusheng. Just as you said earlier, you will lead the charge tomorrow. In that case, you owe Huang Fusheng money. That I did not use poison. So Wang Fusheng must have increased the pressure on him. That's why he would act so hastily. Regarding Long Haoming asking me why I'm helping him, I said you are already mine. Long Haoming owes a lot of money to Huang Fusheng to buy a miracle drug for his seriously ill sister. He even threatened the children at the orphanage he has been caring for. Although he has been working for Huang Fusheng to pay off the debt so far. The difference from the novel is, then we will meet Long Haoming in the back mountain tomorrow morning. I will keep an eye on you. After saying this, Elder Su turned and left. Long Haoming asked me in confusion why I was helping him. In the novel, I can take this opportunity to settle this guy's matter once and for all. Then I asked what Long Haoming's answer was. Long Haoming agreed with this decision. Elder Su turned and instructed the clan leader, "Let the young master go as well. Let him be the vanguard commander for this covert operation." I said excitedly that for a covert operation, it seems my father has found out. He found the black cicada out earlier than I expected. If Long Haoming is involved as well, please trust me. Long Haoming was also confused by my words. Only then did sect leader Shu sheath his sword. Then let's do it this way. If this person is truly loyal to the young master, he said to me, but look at the killing intent in this person. He might be disguising himself as a cultivator. In reality, he wants to take your life. I said firmly, Long Haoming is my loyal bodyguard. He would never do such a thing. This is bad. I spoke carelessly, out of anxiety. Establish myself in the martial arts world. What does that even mean? Master Shu is worried. I believe that to establish oneself in the martial world, one needs to cultivate in various environments. Master Shu asked in confusion. You said you want to establish yourself in the martial arts world. Yes, I will inform my father soon. I saw everything. That person's gaze and sword are filled with murderous intent. Please step back. I quickly explained. He was just exchanging couplets with me. Right now, Long Haoming is not even as good as a single toe of Master Shu. If this continues, he will be in danger. I quickly stepped forward to clarify that this was all a misunderstanding. Master Shu said coldly, "How could it possibly be a misunderstanding?" The next second, the door was opened. Master Shu walked in. Upon seeing the weapons on the ground, Master Shu immediately pointed his sword at Long Haoming. "This is serious trouble. Does this kid want to kill me and then run away?" I quickly squatted down to dodge this attack. Then I executed a supporting kick that sent Long Haoming flying. This kick directly overturned Long Haoming. Long Haoming was shocked by my skills. At this moment, a voice came through. "Young master, I am Hall Master Shu." Long Haoming saw this and no longer hesitated. He swung his knife and chopped towards me. "Maybe I've gone too far already. Don't torment yourself, because choices can always be changed. No, it's too late for me." I swallowed. "From the moment you poisoned me at birth, you've been serving Huang Fu Sheng like a master, like a dog." Long Haoming responded with a bit of a tremble. I was startled. Such intense killing intent. But I need to stay alert. Whether this pretty decent guy can be redeemed, all depends on me. He's not my master. I've never served anyone. I scoffed. "What nonsense." Long Haoming was enraged by my words. "It means someone is directing you. I don't even have to think to know. It should be yours. Your former master, Huang Fuxing." Long Haoming said coldly, "Because I haven't had time to care if you're angry lately. So you want to kill me? Isn't that going too far?" Long Haoming said that he has no personal vendetta against me. I replied that if there's no personal vendetta, the relatively undertrained dragon and phoenix horns show significant changes every day. It makes me very happy. Of course, unlike me, this guy must be anxious. I calmly asked Long Haoming what he was doing. In the following days, I sparred with Bailey Zen. Gradually, I became familiar with the great heavenly star swordsmanship, based on the mysterious path technique and the elusive continuous step. I gained those realizations from this. It has also started to affect me. "But can you help me up?" Only then did Bailey Zen snap out of it, and helped me up, main. Then Bailey Zen carried me on his back to rest. All of this was seen by Long Haoming from a distance, especially the final strike. If I had trained and refined it every day before, and infused all my internal power into it, could he still have dodged that final strike? I looked up at the dazed Bailey Zen and said, though I knew it was quite embarrassing, and my breathing was off. He thought I was a novice, but I can gain experience through sparring with him. I started to apply what I learned, creating my own techniques. I responded, "Do I look like him okay?" What I didn't know was, my actions had already shocked Bailey Zen. At the beginning of the fight, my movements were stiff, but the next second, I was sent flying by the rebound force. I was about to swing my sword again, but suddenly, my knees buckled. Then I fell to the ground. Bailey Zen asked me if I was okay, closed the distance. I relied on luck to lose my focus. In the next moment, the two of us clashed together. This time, I successfully blocked Bailey Zen's attack. I was feeling a bit relieved. Then I was sent flying by a single strike from him. I barely managed to steady myself, retreating to put some distance between us. But his sword got even faster. So then a flurry of attacks surrounded me. The speed is incredible. I need to create some distance first. But as soon as I took a step back, Bailey Zen's sword tip was already at my face, using a real sword. But we can only use a fraction of our strength against each other. I'm trembling a bit. I've never used a real sword before. Bailey suddenly dashed towards me. I quickly snapped out of it, then raised my wooden sword and said it was nothing. He, the future hero, said he wanted to teach me a move. I had no reason to refuse, but Bailey Zen said not to use that. "Are you going to spar with me?" I was a bit surprised. He said he wanted to spar with me as I was growing. Seeing me freeze up, Bailey Zen thought I was unwilling. Bai Lijian said with a smile, Looks like you've been quite interested in cultivation lately. You've had so much to drink, and you still come over so early. I awkwardly scratched my head and said, I'm not really that interested. I just want to learn a bit of self-defense. But it's better to let him go now. Don't let him stay because of me. I don't want to get beaten up for no reason. Moments later, in practicing swordplay alone in the training ground, it wasn't long before Bailijan found me, telling me to go ahead first. A bit speechless. Does he not want to associate with me anymore? But you were the one who gave me the bet. Isn't this disdainful look a bit too much? The next day, as soon as I stepped out, I ran into Long Haoming. I asked him where he was heading so early. Long Haoming said he was going to the training ground. I suggested we go together, but Long Haoming quickly turned and said he suddenly had something to take care of. In any case, this is all. Something to pay attention to later. Now I will give my father some general hints. Then father will find, just like in the novel, the Black Cicada's headquarters involved in this. But the account book of the black merchant in Haikan has the names of Huang Fusheng and some aristocratic youths. Because of this list, Huang Fusheng is surrounded by enemies in the Huangfu family. The Juge family received compensation from the Huangfu family. Also, the compensation includes dual swords. It used to be a hired killing gang in the shadows. Now, they'll do anything as long as you pay. Although this gang will later become one of the strongholds of the Blood Demon sect. Right now, no matter how hard you hit them, you can't get anything out of them. In the novel, Wu Ying is punished by the family afterwards. Father investigated the source of the poison. It comes from an organization called Black Cicada. This organization is quite disgusting. After getting the poison, I immediately informed my father. After learning the reason, he told me to leave the matter to him, but I said I had a better plan. But, due it to Wai Ying's fear of Wang Fusheng, he never confesses until the end. In the end, Wai Ying is punished by the family rules. Now, I've transmigrated into Zhuge Wai Ying. Having thoroughly read the novel, I know all the upcoming plot points. He actually wants to blind them with poison, and being clever, he never does it himself. He lets his good brother Zhuge Wai Ying do the poisoning. According to the original plot, Zhuge Wai Ying gets caught by his father while poisoning. He's a young master from a prestigious family, yet he does nothing useful every day. Full of bad intentions, he's extremely narrow-minded. Just because someone looked at him too sharply during a conversation, his gloomy demeanor made me back down. Let's go, I'll leave the rest to him to handle, but I firmly refused. How can our personal conflict become a family feud? I have great ideas. I replied that he asked me to poison the disciple of the collection. Are you referring to Bai? Why did Li Zhen instruct you to do this? I think it might be because I had previously crossed paths with young Master Bai. Father clenched his fists tightly. She never confessed until the end. But I directly brought the poison to my father, and told him it was given to me by Huang Fusheng. My father, confused, asked me, isn't he your confidant? Why would he give you poison? Thinking, you'll understand what I mean in time. Just like in the novels, Wu Ying was caught by her father while trying to poison Bai Lijan. But to do it to her fear of Huang Fusheng, you have to make a decisive decision like I do. Because the choice to seize the opportunity all depends on you making the decision yourself. Long Haoming didn't understand what I just said. I glanced at him. I patted Long Haoming on the shoulder and said, I will use it properly. By the way, Long Guard, if it's suitable for you. A great opportunity appeared right before your eyes, although he was smiling, but his gaze wavered. Because this is something he has to do reluctantly, so he must feel uncomfortable inside. I took the poison from him. Here it's changed to Long Haoming. I didn't expect Huang Fusheng didn't kill him directly. Instead, he made him blind. I asked Long Haoming why he gave me this. Long Haoming bitterly said, didn't you want to take revenge on Bai Lijan for humiliating you? Long Haoming explained that this was made from several poisonous herbs. I drank it once. After a day, red spots would appear. Then he went blind. I thought it was Wang Fu Sheng in the novel. He said he had something to tell me. Then he handed me a small bottle. Long Haoming said this was given to me by young master Wang Fu. I was taken aback for a moment. This definitely looks like poison. I just need to perfectly teach Bailey Zen the moose heart technique. Then he'll be able to easily overcome the first trial to obtain the soul weapon. It's like playing a Bailey Zen training game. Just then, Long Haoming suddenly appeared behind me. I was a bit excited. It worked. Bailey Zen was starting to be won over. The two of us drank late into the night. I felt like I was about to throw up my guts. Next, apologetically, I wondered what to say. Actually, I was borrowing something I had read before. Bailey Zen smiled a little. Then he suggested we continue drinking. After that, Bailey Zen said that perhaps in the future, Brother Zhug could find more opportunities to drink and talk with him. Rules and restrictions. Good and evil fairness. Only by finding what freedom is within this framework can one understand what true justice is. After speaking, I scratched my head. Even going against the flow may be part of the norm. These few sentences should clarify his confusion. They are the words left behind by the second-generation family member, Zhu Gil. I continued, do you know the benefit of living as a rogue? I can live freely within a predetermined framework. Look to the side. See both sides of things. Life is not just about moving forward. Moving backward is also a norm. Going back is also a norm. But now I'm looking for a better way. So now, can I say a few words to you under the influence of alcohol? Brother Bo, don't just look ahead. I look at Brother Bo as if I were watching someone who only focuses on chasing goals. But please, occasionally look back. I didn't understand before. Maybe it's just a kind of rebellious mindset. I am the future hope of the Zhug family's inheritance. But I know, in reality, I can't do it at all. That's just how it is. And talk about the memoir. Clearly, the novel states he doesn't touch alcohol at all. Just then, Bai Lijian asked me why I was pretending to live like a spoiled rich kid mocked by the world. I exhaled and said, are you referring to names like scoundrel or fool? So how do you build a bond with the protagonist? Of course, by drinking. But what I didn't expect was that the protagonist Bai Lijian could drink so well. I originally planned to have a drink or two with him, and it's more fun to use Zhug's Wang to do it than doing it himself. A short-lived side character in a wuxia novel. What's the best way to defy fate and stay alive? Of course, it's to cling to the protagonist's thigh. Long Haoming once asked Wang Fu Sheng why he had to target Bai Lijian, and Wang Fu Sheng's reason was merely that upon their first meeting, he was very displeased with the way Bai Lijian looked at him. Regardless of everything, he just wants to trample on Bailey Zen. He will definitely report to Wang Fu Sheng immediately. Go quickly in order to advance the plot of Bai Lijian smoothly. You must do this. I already knew Long Haoming's purpose for being by my side. That is to persuade me to take revenge on Bai Lijian for kneeling. It shouldn't have any impact on the content. I let Long Haoming take a rest today. Don't act rashly. Then I took Bailey Zen out for drinks. As soon as he sees me going out with Bailey Zen, perhaps this could awaken something in the young hero. Only then did Bai Lijian reluctantly agree. In the novel, Bailey Zen will definitely come to our family anyway. Even if I tell him the lost heart technique a bit earlier. I expressed that I had received permission from my father. He said I could befriend the disciples of the Dian Kang sect, which has a rich martial arts heritage. This is a tremendous blessing in my life. However, Bai Lijian stated that there was no leisure time for making friends. I continued to tempt him, saying I wanted to share a little of my ancestors' true words with him. Then I stepped forward and put my arm around Bai Lijian's neck, inviting him to have a drink with me. But Bai Lijian politely declined. Thank you for the offer, but it's time for Jiaobei to learn how to read. You still have books to ponder over the ancestors' thoughts. Looking at the melancholic Bailey Zen, This atmosphere feels a bit off. Cheer up. I have prepared a gift for you. He heard that I went into seclusion. I replied that I was just reading the works of the ancestors, thinking about how I should go on living. It really makes one envious. Even if he spends all his money and becomes a beggar, he will not give up the last hope of the sect. While he hesitated alone, I found him with a smile. Bailey Zhen said, it's been a long time. The first step is to restore the martial arts that disappeared after reaching the pinnacle. To achieve this goal, he must find the clues to the sect's legacy that the senior brother had been investigating, but he hasn't discovered any new clues at the moment. It's not yet time to go back. Was unexpectedly overcome in one go after discussing swordsmanship with the head of the Juge family. He broke through all at once. For the sect, which lost many secret manuals and the collections of experts due to the invasion of the Blood Demon sect, the noble families are even more unfathomable. No matter what, he must revive the sect. Huge profit. I couldn't help but smile just thinking about it. Meanwhile, in the training ground, Bailey was truly training in swordsmanship alone. The swordsmanship bottleneck he had been unable to break through for a long time. I'll go pay respects to my father first, then see him. I'm no longer in a hurry, because he's already fallen into my trap. Not only did I obtain the deer heart technique, but Bailey Zhen also came to me on his own. Long Haoming told me that Bailey Zhen had arrived. Every day, aside from teaching the young lady to read, he just stays in the classroom. I acknowledged that I understood. Why is that? Considering that my character does not exist in the novel. Then let's call it a cameo. As soon as the deer heart technique came out, and I saw Long Haoming waiting for me. He would feel that this memory recording is like a spell that makes his distractions disappear. But it's not the same for me. If a descendant of the Juge family can sincerely study the words of the memoirs, he will definitely obtain this opportunity. But why should this new heart method be referred to as such? I stumbled upon an unexpected opportunity. At first, I was worried I might be going astray, but as my inner strength shifted onto a new path, I mastered an unknown new heart technique for Bailey Zhen, who has never practiced the Shijia heart method. Now every word is firmly etched in my mind. Although I roughly knew that Zhu Juin was very smart, but with this kind of talent, isn't she a genius? Moreover, when I memorized the entire memoir, it's just memorizing some classical Chinese. I've got 10 years of experience in exam prep. I'm an old office worker. A few days later, feeling the blinding sunlight outside. Is this what it feels like to come out of prison? This trip has been quite a straight one. To be safe, I need to memorize all the content that follows. I record the pace of the speech, so that's what it means. In boosting my own morale. The novel doesn't go into detail about how many volumes or chapters have been memorized. It only mentions that Bailey Zhen can recite it fluently. Moreover, the novel doesn't state that one must finish reading everything before experiencing the effects Bailey Zhen went through. It seems that just reading a portion can lead to those effects. Ultimately, starting from here, I need to memorize all the content that follows. It doesn't seem to be much. But when I turned around, I found another stack on the ground, because I have only one goal. That is the memoirs of Zhu Guilin, the head of the Juge family. After flipping through a pile of books, I finally found the memoir. This should be the part that Bai Lijian excerpted later. I have already memorized the fasting pill inside. He said I would stay for a long time. After finishing the theft, I walked inside. I also don't want to stay long. I was startled. After calming myself down, I asked him to bring me something to eat, like some fasting pills or something. The speed indicates I am among the honored guests. I reached for one of the stone doors, but Yusu suddenly appeared. He told me access was forbidden. Please use the room farthest inside. Who would have thought there'd be such a place, truly worthy of a noble family, even though they've fallen from grace, and are no longer among the top 3 families of this area. They are still called the House of the Crouching Dragon for a reason. That the places others "Don't bother going to, are all for a reason." I walked through the door. What comes into view is one current affair after another. Just now, in the pavilion on the second floor. Whenever it rings, he can turn his shadowy pants into a natural fortress. After saying that, he turned and opened the door. Only then did I understand. The next second, a woman suddenly appeared at the front gate. I was startled. She actually came out from the door. Hall Master Shu confidently said, "The security at the Shadow Vault is more relaxed than I expected. I thought we'd have to pass through layers of iron bars." Hall Master Shu laughed. "How could it be like this?" Then he shouted, "The second level holds the few remaining precious spiritual medicines. The first floor above ground is where Tongluo Tang lives, and it also serves as a library for various miscellaneous studies. Finally, the second floor above ground is the Shadow Vault." We've reached the Shadow Vault so soon. I looked around and asked. This sentence disrupted my plans. Afterward, Master Su introduced me to the Tianlin Library. The Tianlin Library has 2 underground levels and 2 above-ground levels. The basement level stores the weapons passed down through the family. Does this mean he trusts me a little now? Master Shu asked me if I only needed to look at the records of the head of the Qiandai family. I replied that was correct. Then Master Shu mentioned that I could only stay in the hidden library under the surveillance of the Tong War Hall. It was also forbidden to take notes on specific events. From that perspective, he's the action squad leader. Additionally, he's the head of the Sorkun Tongwo Hall, which guards the Tianling Library in the Shadow Vault. This means that my entry into the Shadow Vault this time was also approved by the Hallmaster. In my memory, Master Shu did not appear in the first half of the novel because he didn't have a significant role. It's from the latter part. He has always accompanied him as his father's trusted aide. I won't let you down again. I didn't expect to get in so quickly. The next day, I followed a strong man to the Shadow Library. That strong man didn't even greet me. It was because the person he served was my father. Were given many opportunities, but the results were disappointing. However, I have changed my mind now. I will allow you to enter the Shadow Library. I quickly expressed my gratitude to Father with excitement. It's time to find answers to countless worries. I want to find my path with better methods and choices. Father replied, "Although I care for you deeply, I never considered passing the family's most important inheritance to you. During this time, I believed you. Actually, I regret it. I regret wasting time like someone who's fallen from grace. Although my father might find it sudden, it wasn't the case for me. It was like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. My father found me. He had heard that I had been diligently training these past few days. He wanted to know why I had started to work hard. I scratched my head. It wasn't for some great reason. Only in this way could I truly benefit. Hong Haoming asked me why I suddenly started working hard on my training. Clearly, I had just enjoyed myself with his master, Wang Fuxing. I pondered for a moment and said that I was also curious why I was here doing this. By evening, I had Long Haoming accompany me to practice swordsmanship. Even though my weak skills were constantly being beaten down, I didn't give up. Even if I was knocked down and couldn't get up, I told Long Haoming to hit harder tomorrow. I can definitely become a top expert. From now on, I will hone this body well, breaking free from the fate of being a side character in the next few days. In this way, I successfully formed an inseparable bond with the protagonist, Bai Lijun. He is a playboy from the Juge family who has never practiced cultivation, but his inner strength can rival that of top experts. This left me, who has crossed into his body, utterly shocked with the talent of this body. The next moment, Bai Lijun asked me for a few days off. I finally relaxed. You can take as long a vacation as you want. Just enough for me to return a favor. I want to connect with you with the fresh feelings of our first meeting. If we can touch that feeling, we will surely succeed. Looking at the hesitant Bai Lijun, I felt a bit anxious. I didn't say I wanted everyone to live together. Why not let my younger sister learn to read while you're staying here? She's a bright child. If she has a good teacher, it would be a good thing for Bayer. Bai Lijian must really miss her junior sister, who is the same age as Bayer in Diankang. It's really killing two birds with one stone, but Bai Lijian said he didn't want to trouble me. I felt a bit helpless. Then I'll have to use my last resort, if you really feel burdened by this. So I know you don't have any money on hand. If you're short on cash, just come to my place. You can save money, and keep Bai Lijian by your side. You can take this money back. And I had already guessed his reaction. I also thought of a way to deal with it. Based on the content of the novel, I heard you paid a large sum of silver to compensate for the damaged inn, to apologize for what happened last time. Bai Lijian was silent for a moment, and then said that it seems the rumors in the world are indeed not trustworthy. You actually came here in person for this. I understand. Bai Lijian asked how I knew he was here. I said this circle is smaller than I imagined. Then I took out a bag of gold coins from my pocket. I came to find you. Young Master Bai, I have something to tell you. May I come in first? Looking at the room's layout, it really was just like in the novel. He was sitting in the room, reading a book. So I chose to win over Bai Lijian. I knocked on the door. It wasn't long before Bai Lijian opened the door. Bai Lijian seemed a bit surprised to see me. I cleared my throat and said, "We meet again," and wanted to take on everything in place of Bai Lijian. Then I can't be the only one to learn. I should also guide him to learn. In order to blend into the story as it unfolds, I just need to slightly change my choices. He is the true main character throughout the entire Hero Chronicles. He is the guardian of the Central Plains, tasked with stopping the Blood Demon cult, and in his background, the most crucial turning point is the primordial power of Hunshin Yichi. If I went crazy, I tossed a bag of money to Long Heoming, use this to buy him candy, take him for a walk around the library, and then come back. You can keep the rest of the money. That's how I sent Bai and his companion off. Next, we need to find our protagonist, Bai Lijian. After that I turned and said to Bayer, "This uncle says he wants to get along with you. He also said, he'll buy you the candy you like. Go play with him for a while." Bayer nodded reluctantly, so he should play with his uncle for a while. But when he saw Long Heoming's sharp gaze, Bayer was scared and hid behind me. I stepped forward and signaled Long Heoming to soften his expression a little. He's still just a kid. I smirked and said, "You have even less perception than I imagined. What you need to do today is not to be a bodyguard, but to act as a wet nurse." Moments later, we arrived at the Bayun Inn. I told Bayer that I had some matters to attend to. I tossed a bag to Long Heoming. Inside were some clothes to keep the children warm, a special spoon for Bai Eruz. These things. Long Heoming asked in confusion why these were given to him. Long Heoming is impressed by Bai Lijian's character. After his repentance, he ended his relationship with Wang Fusheng. After that, he became stronger. He stayed by Bai Lijian's side. Together, they began a long journey. Long Heoming is just like how he's described in novels. He is very cold-hearted, but it doesn't matter, because he's strong enough. In the novel, I said it was fine. My guard would arrive shortly. Moments later, the three of us got into the carriage. Unexpectedly, Wang Fusheng sent him pretty quickly. He definitely wants to monitor me. Might as well take him out for some fun. Although my father was shocked by my actions, he still agreed to my request, but just in case, he insisted I take a guard. He probably thought I was going to sell the young lady. A moment later, I came before my father. I said I was taking Bayer to the market. Because of the compensation matter, I need to find young Master Bai. Big brother will take you to the market today. Whatever you want to buy or eat, Big brother will get it for you. But you have to listen to your brother. My reaction left the butler stunned. I told him he can't wander around like that on his own again. Bayer pouted. He said no. I lifted Bayer onto my shoulders. I smiled and said, "How about this?" I was confused by his reaction. "Let me execute him." What kind of reaction is this? It seems Zhu Zhuang is even more of a scumbag than described in the novel. I patted Bayer on the head. Panicking, young master. It's all my fault for being careless. In the gap when the villain went to the fire room, the young lady disappeared. Please execute him, my lord. Bayer's steward hurriedly found Bayer. I stepped forward to ask what was going on. Why was Bayer wandering around here so early? The steward was startled by my words. Then he bowed to me repeatedly. I am Bayer. So, you're Zhu Zhuang's younger sister, Zhu Guiying. She didn't want her parents to share their love with him. So, she always treated Bayer as if she were invisible. At that moment, by a noise, when the sun rose over the mountains. I can't sleep here, get up. I groggily opened my eyes. In this place, I felt a sense of dread. I asked uncertainly, are you Bayer? I will hone this body. I will break free from the fate of being a bit player. After I finish my training, I collapsed from exhaustion in the training ground. I was only awakened. I just can't understand it. Unlike the naturally lazy Zhu Guiying, I spent 10 long years struggling within the system as the ultimate overachiever. Surviving shouldn't be a problem from now on. Plus, he received the manhwa treatment, which can only maximize its effect if done before the age of 10. Could this be what they call extraordinary talent? He squandered this untapped treasure trove of a body in such reckless ways. With his foundation, he might have become a top expert in the world of Hero Lu. Then I tried the second and third stages. In the next moment, a massive surge of energy shot up to the sky. I was startled. Zhu Guiying's internal energy is way too powerful. This wasn't mentioned in the novel. Xiaotiang scene, mind art. First, gather the inner strength. I slowly felt a small flame. Soon after, I felt the energy. This familiar feeling was as if I had been doing it all along. I sat cross-legged, circulating my inner energy. Although I could vaguely feel the internal energy moving below my abdomen, without personally experiencing it, I can't fully claim it as my own. Let me first recall the beginner's technique, the three-part mental technique and some martial arts. I try to wield the wooden sword in my hand. The three-part technique is roughly at the level of the ultimate head of the family. It's probably around level 6. But this is just Zhu Guiying's memory. I picked up a wooden sword. This thing feels somewhat familiar. It should have been used by Zhu Guiying. I am recalling the mental formulas in my mind. I learned the basic mental techniques from many relatives when I was young. After entering the Shadow Library, I must read the memoirs of Zhu Guiying, the second generation of the Zhu family. When night fell, I arrived at a small training ground near the Zhu family. All the necessary facilities were there. A heart technique called Soul of Heaven and Earth. If you look at it, fundamentally, they share the same roots. In order to find clues about the soul, heaven, and earth, I must enter the Shadow Library. I also need to quickly master my own way of survival. And, in fact, the heart technique of the Zhu family's collection sect and the now vanished legendary sect, Quanzhen sect, are fundamentally different. Yet, the leader of the Blood Demon sect, before officially appearing in the Central Plains, already knew of the essence's existence. Although the novel mentions when he became aware of it, he will undoubtedly become a more dangerous character than described in the current stage of the book. That is, the concept can give rise to countless martial arts. It can be considered the root of all martial arts. If one can feel the essence, then one can quickly absorb the martial arts of all sects. However, the main premise of the Heros record is that the internal energy accumulation and usage methods of each sect is the Zhu family here. But because of my arrival, the script might need to be changed, and in the novel record of heroes, there's a hidden setting. Ultimately, they seek to overthrow the imperial power. Some of their forces have already reached the east and begun plotting their schemes. This is the first phase of the plan to subvert the Central Plains, eliminating certain renowned sects or noble families. One of the targets. I recalled the plot of the novel. 10 years later, The cultists of the blood demon who escaped outside the village joined forces with the traitors from the Beihai Armory and Putuloyo. Their goal is the heart of this land, the Central Plains. While marveling at how much my son had changed, I still couldn't fully let down my guard. Anyway, I've already revealed my thoughts first. Let's wait and see. A moment later, I returned to my room. It wouldn't make a difference even if you don't reach the Shadow Vault. It does make a difference. Without reaching the Shadow Vault, I can't see the records left by the ancestors. I want to read those records. There's still my lifeline in the records. Moments later, I left my father's study. I also wanted to see if I was qualified to become the head of the family. After saying that, I swallowed nervously. It was a lie. I'd be grateful just to survive. If that's the case, he wouldn't allow me to go out. I replied that I cannot give you a clear answer now. I do not underestimate Yin Zhongku, nor do I think his worth is low. I want to experience the history of the family within this. My father pondered for a moment, and said that I could consider myself the heir I had been avoiding. Have you experienced a breakup? But I said that I have no such doubts. My father remarked that if I lacked this awareness, I wanted to explore the Shadow Archive in the Heavenly Spirit Library. The Heavenly Spirit Library is one of the treasures of the Juge family. It houses various books related to celestial bodies, geography, formations, and more. The essence of the Juge family is concentrated here. It is the place where I desire the most opportunities right now. Is a truly strong and valiant hero. There isn't much screen time, just a fleeting glimpse of Zhuge Wang. Unlike the Juge family, his presence is quite significant in the first half of the novel. Then, I told my father. Zhuge Quan touched his chin and mumbled, "Is the sun going to rise from the west tomorrow?" It's hard to imagine that such a bastard as Zhuge Wang has a very upright and benevolent father. But everything I know is that behind that smile, I will make amends myself. Zhuge Quan said, "Whatever compensation is needed, my father will provide." But he still doesn't quite believe that I will handle it personally. I affirm this decision. No matter what the old Zhuge Wuyin was like before, only change can ensure survival. This is a resolution for the parents who have stayed by my side, and for myself. So I will personally go find Bai Lijian tomorrow. The mistake I made. I scratched my head. Helplessly, I said that I wasn't saying this to cover up a bigger mistake. Suddenly, I had an epiphany. I need to make up for the mistakes I've made so far. Start anew. I suddenly stood up and said, "Father, Mother, I have found my direction." Zhuge Quan was taken aback. "Why so sudden? Did you suffer a serious head injury?" And they would definitely be heartbroken. So, I'll just continue living as their son. Whether it's for them, or for my own future, this is the best choice. They really think I'm their son. They're so worried about me in this situation. Even if I tell them the truth, they wouldn't believe or accept it. If it was serious, yeah, that's just how they are as parents. For this couple, scolding their only son, Zhuge Wang, is really too hard. My feelings are so complicated. Seeing the situation, maybe my father will beat me to death. But in the next second, my father hugged me. Then he asked me where I was hurt. But just at that moment, I heard the sound of a door opening. Zhuge Wuyan's parents walked in. As soon as his father, Zhuge Quan, entered, he cursed at me, "You brat." I tensed up. This isn't the Zhuge Wuyan described in the novel, but my own face. At this moment, I'm surprisingly calm. Is it because this is a familiar environment? Then I plan to recall the plot of the novel first. This should be Zhuge Wuyan's. It seems like someone brought me here after I fainted. Maybe it was Zhuge Wuyan's parents, looking at the reflection in the mirror. I was right about what I saw back then. But the next moment, my eyelids started getting heavier. Then I lost consciousness. I don't know how much time passed. I slowly woke up. I looked around. The head of the Zhuge family, Wang's father, was like a bodhisattva. distributing his accumulated wealth and the cow dung bought from the my courtyard to everyone. The family has fallen into decline, but where exactly is my room? I want to go take a nap right away. Moments later, I returned to the Zhuge family, but it was much smaller than I had imagined. Through the memories of Zhuge Wang, I realized that all the clan members had left the home of Zhuge Wang, who had been protected in his wrongdoing, to seek their own path. I happen to have someone in mind. His name is Long Haoming. He's about the same age as me. Seems like a reliable guy. Huang Fusheng stated that he knew. Let's think back. This is really frustrating. But what can I do about it? So, Brother Huang Pu, could you assign me a bodyguard? In the end, I faced the fate of a rabbit that's been hunted down. Although the subtle details may change because of me, the overall direction seems to remain the same. Why don't I tweak the details a bit? Then, I said angrily, now the tone has changed suddenly. Is he planning to use my anger? In the novel, Zhuge was beguiled by this guy's tricks. I originally wanted to poison Bai Lijian, but I ended up getting caught red-handed. These guys from Beilijian are truly detestable. They really have no sense. Even made someone like you, a noble young master, kneel. I'm at a loss for words. Just now they said I needed to show sincerity. I was completely speaking from Zhuge Wang's perspective. Zhao said that. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This is really infuriating. Is Master Nan Ma happy to live for the moment, drinking and enjoying the present? From when I was born to when I took my 5 girls to the inn for a drink, that kid just came running to pick a fight with me for no reason. Zhuge Wang has always been bossy and arrogant. He must have unintentionally offended Bai Lijian, who was watching from the side. I need to live well. Is his name Bai Lijian? How did you meet him? I forgot about this guy. Seems like I need to please him first. I will live on as Zhuge Wang, but I refuse to die hastily as a minor character, or to be used and framed to meet my end, then to conclude this fearless life. Anyway, sitting in the bumpy carriage, feeling confused, I gradually calmed down. I am really in the world of the novel heroic record. I have to admit, from now on, he is an important character who travels the world with Bai Lijian. Thanks to my prior knowledge of the upcoming plot, Bai Lijian called out to me, wishing for my speedy recovery. I secretly thought to myself, don't worry, kid, we will meet again. Very strong. He carried me on his back. I couldn't believe I saw him here. Although the people here could never know his true identity. The Manhua saw dragon roars. Zhuge Wuying with a broken leg, and Huang Fusheng went home together. Although things had changed, the overall direction couldn't be altered, right? Then, Huang Fusheng called a man named Long Haoming. He was muscular, so I don't want any further complications. At that moment, a sharp pain struck my chest. I had to leave this place immediately. Huang Fusheng saw this, and offered to take me back. He didn't step in. Is the story changing? Bai Lijian said coldly. This matter is already over. I've received a sincere apology. I'm a bit annoyed. Why is everyone pressuring me? But it's strange. This scene wasn't in the novel. Huang Fusheng was just watching from the side. Huang Fusheng was immediately at a loss. He stepped forward and hit me once. He scolded, Wu Ying. I thought we understood each other well, but it doesn't seem that way. That statement is not wrong, but what's important is what the person accepting my apology thinks. So all the choices are in the hands of Master Bai, whenever he wants. As long as Master Bai wants. You just need to give your right hand. I was left speechless. Seeing him so happy puts me in a dilemma. Is he really that happy? I gritted my teeth and spoke up. Zhuge Wang only ever responds to this guy, like a mouse in front of a cat. My apology to Bailey is truly sincere. It's not easy to prove. It's not difficult if you want to show your sincerity. You've completely disregarded the family's honor. Lies upon lies. How could you possibly see me when you're so openly contemptuous of others? In other words, in the novel, but in reality, he secretly supports him in causing trouble. We need to take care of this guy first. I was born weak. I never even dreamed that my elder brother would be here. You did this to survive. I am Huangfu Sheng from the Yuangfu family. You should have heard of me. I am local. Our family is very prestigious. Huangfu Sheng appears to be good brothers with Zhuge Weiying. If he truly wanted to apologize, he shouldn't extend his left hand. He should be using his right hand that holds the sword, not Ma Wuying. Bai Lijun asked who he was. It's really interesting, Wu Ying. I'm a bit confused. Who showed up at a time like this? Everyone's calling him Wu Ying. Is it someone very close to him? The crisis was resolved so easily after all. Fortunately, this guy has that kind of personality. I almost lost my leg. Just then, a burst of laughter came. You were drunk. As expected, I still wasn't getting enough oxygen. You're hurt. I'll take you home. I immediately breathed a sigh of relief. His personality is truly just like in the novel. That frustrating personality is thoroughly embodied. In the next moment, Bai Li grabbed my left hand. Then he said to me, I understand. It's my fault. I didn't consider that. Don't. I raised my left arm and shouted as an apology, I will offer my left arm. The onlookers immediately began to stir. I must take the initiative. Watching Bai Li's hesitant expression, I pretended to understand when I didn't. How dare I insult your sect? Of course, I also know that a few words can't undo the humiliation I caused you. Bai Li Zhen started to hesitate. It seems I need to put in more effort. Now you want to apologize to me? He really put down his sword. This guy is definitely suppressing his anger. Next, I need to think about what to say to escape. What Bai Xiaoxie just said made me realize that the mistake is mine for overestimating my abilities. I'm completely sober after that hit. There's no other choice but this. Saint-like Bai Lijun will most likely let me off the hook. Bai Lijun shouted angrily, you just insulted my sect with your wild words. This is a world that values reputation. It might actually make things easier to resolve. I'm not that arrogant playboy Zhuge Weiying who got his legs chopped off. I calmly spoke without a trace of embarrassment. As you can see, an apology won't change anything. Apologize to him first. I immediately dropped to my knees with a thud. Bai Li Zhen was stunned for a moment. He asked me what I was doing. Although Zhuge Weiying won't die. This marks the beginning of the Zhuge family's decline. As I watched Bai Li Zhen fiercely charge at me with his sword, I quickly raised my hand and asked him to wait a moment. I can't just become disabled like this. In the novel, he squanders his family's fortune and is a ruthless jerk. Based on the plot of the novel, Zhuge Weiying insulted the master of the protagonist, Bai Li Zhen. Bai Li Zhen, who regards the master as a parent, immediately carried him away. The short-lived cannon fodder in martial arts novels is about to have his legs broken by the protagonist right at the beginning. To avoid becoming disabled, I quickly turned my clever mind. The person I possessed is Zhuge Weiying, a spoiled young master of the prestigious Zhuge family.